think it was part intentional and part having to do with working with some new producers. And these guys, Nick and Colin, they're a little bit younger guys, so they sort of like almost pushed us, you know, like, hey, let's do some songs like, you know, Infest style. So that kind of prompted Jacoby to like feel good about rapping again, you know, and I think I think we accomplished that pretty well on this record. I mean, there's a lot of different songs and different, you know, different avenues we took, but getting back to that sort of, I guess, yeah, as you say, classic Papa Roach style was natural. It didn't seem forced. Yeah, well, you know, Jacoby, going back to the rap thing, like for the past few records, he kind of wanted to develop himself as more of a rock style singer and not rely on rapping. So that's kind of the reasoning behind, like, say, Metamorphosis was like the first record with me on drums, and it was a little more rock. Like his vocals were just a lot different. I don't think there was much rapping on that, if any. Yeah, and so the last record, was it the last record, Fear, or no, The Connection? He started to kind of like put a little rap in there, like in a bridge of a song, and it just felt, you know, like I said, it was just natural for him to come back to it, and you know, we kind of went back and forth with our label too. They were like, rap is, you know, it's not so big right now. We're like, what are you talking about? Like, rap is big, you know, like. So it was just sort of like, we're gonna do this and make it seem, you know, not forced, like I said, and it's just natural. And as far as the evolution of the band goes, it just fit right in. You know, it wasn't anything that's like, oh my God, what are they doing now? You know, it wasn't like that. It was just, feels right. Well, Crooked Teeth is just basically saying that every individual has a flaw. You know, nobody's perfect. And you know, that being said, it's like, instead of trying to like fake, you know, on social media, like the perfect picture of yourself and like perfect, you know, we're kind of sick of seeing that, you know. Just embrace your flaws, embrace your, you know, whatever, your crooked teeth, your crooked smile, your crooked eye, who knows, like all of it, you know. It's just simply, nobody's perfect, and don't try and be perfect, you know, because it's just not, we're human. Everybody, you know, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's got a little flaw in them somewhere, you know. Yeah, we didn't jam a lot on this record. It was more sending demos. A lot of songs were coming out in the studio as we were writing and recording. Basically, yeah, most of it was written in the studio. We did do some jamming, some demos last year. We had some time off, so we decided to go in and just kind of jam a little bit, but I think most of the songs came through the actual time in the studio when we had recording time.
Yeah.
But I prefer to jam more.
Yeah.
Because it's just, you get in a room and you never know. The excitement of not knowing, you know, from silence to like a song is cool. It's like, just from jamming, you know, like, hey, here's a drum beat, play something to it. Or somebody starts with a guitar riff, or, you know, it's just, I think that's cool. But different records, different producers, we do different things, you know.
Yeah.
So it just depends on who we're working with, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. There were like times where you just look out, like police helicopters flying over, like, oh, there must be like a car chase or something, like just something bad's going down right now, you know, and like just fist fights. Like there was a couple bars around the neighborhood and people would just come out like, ah, you know. And I think absolutely has something to do with where you are, and you know, you just come back in and it could inspire a lyric or if you see somebody fighting, it can, you know, inspire like a just an angry guitar riff or something, you know. So it was definitely an inspirational point, and recording there, and it was actually North Hollywood, so it's a little bit seedier than, you know, Hollywood, but yeah, there were some interesting things going on around the neighborhood throughout the few months. Well, you know, the lyrics for us, and Jacoby writes, you know, all of the lyrics usually, and it's always, you know, just touching on bad things that happen. You know, we have good days and bad days, and it's wholehearted life. Like, he wears his heart on his sleeve, and whatever's going on in his life, he's going to turn that into a song, because that's, you know, that's the way that he's developed himself as a lyricist. It's also therapy for him, you know. So there's a lot of, again, on the record, every record, there's a lot of darkness, but then there's also hope. And you know, a song like Crooked Teeth, same title as the record, but the song actually is referring to the dark side of, like, post-war, like when you come back as a veteran and you're not treated so well, even though you just went and fought for your country, and postpartum depression and the things that go on inside your head after you get back. You know, like his father was a vet that came back and came back kind of messed up, and so he tried to, like, put himself in that position, you know, just from things that he's learned from his dad. And so yeah, there's a lot of, like I said, darkness, and then there's always that thing that pulls you out, hopefully. You know, some of us not the same, but I think if you choose to see the positivity in it, you'll come out stronger. Well, that was something that, you know, it was conscious, it was deliberate, but it was also like, sometimes you have to let the writing take over.
Yeah.
And we always get to a point when we're writing and recording, we always get to a point where there's, like, okay, there's enough of this type of song. There's, you know, like a song like Periscope.
Yeah.
It's poppier. Not a lot of big guitars in it. We get to a point usually when we're writing and recording where we step back and look at the songs that we already have finished and say, okay, what else do we need? Like, something else needs to fit here, you know, whether it's a song topic or a song like Periscope, where it's just like, it's poppier. And, you know, we tend not to, like, write too many of the same sounding songs. Like, there's not a lot of Crooked Teeth songs written, you know. It's just like, that one's heavy and big, and it's like, okay, we have that, you know what I mean? And we're not going to just continue writing. We're going to spend more time trying to find another song that needs to be, like, when we finished the record, we thought we finished the record. We turned it into the label, and our manager was like, no, I don't hear the first single. We're like, what? We have all, like, come on, you know? And so we went back in the studio and wrote the song Help, which became the first single. And he heard that, and he's like, that's the song, you know? So we were just like, oh, man. Okay, so yeah, we just get to that point where, you know, there's only so much time that you have in the studio, and sometimes it's really hard to rush creativity, and you can't always expect what's going to come out. You know, some things come out like the song Help and the song None of the Above, which is the last song on the 10-song record, not the deluxe version, and so those two songs, like, they happened, like, after we thought we were done. And now, like, None of the Above is one of our favorite songs to play live. We've been playing that on this tour for the first time, and it's going over really well. So, but yeah, we always, like I said, we always have a limited time, to write and record, so we don't try and get bogged down by writing the same, like 3 or 4 of the same sounding songs. It's like, once we find that song, it's like, okay, cool, we got that, move on. What else do we need? Like, poppier song, heavier song, or whatever, you know, so. Yeah, well, I mean, basically we finished making Crooked Teeth. We were supposed to go on a tour earlier this year, and that got canceled. It wasn't announced yet, so nobody knew that it was happening. And so we were kind of left like with nothing to do until basically the summer. So everybody's like, hey, we were on a creative roll with the producers, and we just figured, let's go back in, take advantage of the creative process, because we still felt that we had something to continue. And yeah, so we have like, I think 5 or 6 new songs demoed. But I thought everybody was crazy. I'm like, you guys are crazy. We just finished writing a record, and that takes a lot out of you. And like, you know, when you're done with a record, you're like, whew, it's just a big relief, you know. And then like, hey, let's go back in the studio. And I'm like, what? I'm like, you know, it's draining. But we went back in and with the same guys, and yeah, like we have 5 or 6 songs, like I said, demoed. We'll see, you know. Yeah. Maybe they all won't make the next record, but we have a good start.
Okay.
To the next record vibe, which is it's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all for me. Thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.